Hi everyone, this is Sunette in this video for Soul, where we will be discussing the word regret, the redefining and living of regret. Now, even within speaking the word, I, for myself, sometimes can assess my relationship with a word. Like, for example, now, when speaking the word regret, do you know what comes up within me is the process I've walked for myself in relation to the word and how I changed my relationship with the word, and so the relationship with myself within and as regret. And not only that, but also expanded myself in my living and my relationships with others because of the process that I've walked with regret. So essentially, what opens up within me the moment I speak regret is a timeline of the process I walked and who I am now within the word, who I was, who I am, and even who I will be. Now, see, there's quite a difference in that coming up within yourself when you're speaking a word as opposed to usually an emotion. In the past, when I spoke the word regret, there would be the emotional experience of regret coming up within me. And it's really quite fascinating sometimes what a word and your relationship with a word can do to you, where the moment you speak the word or something happens in a relationship or a situation or a moment in your life and you access regret, the effects an emotion can have on your physical body. Like for me, what had happened was whenever I'd speak the word regret, I would feel like almost this ghostly hand would come through into my stomach and literally start grabbing it and like really holding it in a way that is quite painful. And at the same time as that was happening, there was this darkness that would come over my heart, this really thick, dark substance that would feel like it's been spilled over my heart and really weighing it down, darkening my heart myself in a way. And then within that, it would also feel like there's these bricks on my back. So here, everyone, what I would like to show you here and teach you here is what has assisted and supported me is getting to know my emotional relationship with words and the effects it has on my physical body so that I can, through that, assess and determine who am I in relation to this word. Is there still more work that I need to do on myself, within myself, problems, issues, memories, past experiences that pertains to this very word regret? So this is an exercise everyone can start including because, it will also guide you in your process of defining, redefining, and living words in a very practical, measurable way. Whenever you, for example, speak the word regret and you've got any emotional movement within you, in your solar plexus, your heart, your body, where, your relationship with that word in some way or another is still a burden, is still having an effect on your being, let's call it your spirit or your soul, as, we refer to that deeper part of ourselves. And what this will assist and support you with is the defining process. All right. So when I started my defining process with the word regret, I had to look at, all right, who am I in relation to regret now? Where do I have regrets within myself, my life, my relationships, my past? And it was really quite an eye-opening process, both physically and within myself, the inner eye, because I didn't realize the extent to which I'd burdened myself with regrets. And, I subconsciously also realized that I just accepted and allowed regrets to be a natural part of my life. Like, yeah, you live a life, you've got regrets, that's so be it. Not really realizing the extent to which those very regrets were affecting my being, my body, who I was. And so with walking a process of coming to terms with and accepting the responsibility and who I was within what I had done or said that I regretted, I also took it a step further in my redefining process. And here I'd like to, which I will slowly but surely also start introducing, is sound. How you can sound words, and in the sound of words, actually find a key to assist and support in your redefining and living process. For example, regret. In the words regret, saw in the sound of it the statement repeating what's great. Meaning, if you have a look at the words regret, the so repeat, repeating, and then great, what's great. And so I started playing with the words. This is also just something fun that you can do. And I started playing with the words and I said, okay, but what would something like that mean for me when having a look at moments of regret? And I realized that a moment of regret can either become a burden within my mind, my heart, myself, or it can become something great that I can repeat in my life over and over and over again. In other words, it becomes a gift. So then I started looking at all my regrets and I asked myself, what is the gift? What is the great within this that I can take with me and repeat in a way where I share it with someone else, where I assist and support others? So in investigating and introspecting my relationship with all my regrets, I realized that I did not fully encompass what it is that I required to learn. In fact, from that moment, from that experience, from what I'd said or what I'd done, I didn't fully comprehend or fathom the extent of my responsibility in those moments. So it's like, because I didn't do that, I instead wanted to punish myself. This is also all happening subconsciously. I wanted to punish myself and live with the guilt. That's also very much connected to regret. And instead punish myself throughout my whole life, burdening myself with my own regrets. And therefore also showing me I didn't forgive myself completely. I didn't fully take responsibility and really learn in a way where I can release myself. And, from that burden, from that regret, from the guilt, from everything, because, we sometimes think or believe that we need to punish ourselves. We need to pay, for, let's say, little moments of, yes, words and actions that led to a consequence in a relationship. I'm not speaking about the more extensive consequences that we can create, where you do have a massive consequence, obviously. But I'm really speaking in the small, in your relationships with other people, when you had said something or had done something or not done something and it created a consequence and you felt guilty, you regretted it. And other times, yes, there was a major consequence that was created in your life in a relationship with someone where, for example, they never wanted to talk to you again. And no matter what you did to show them you've changed, it was too late. Those moments right there, the too late moments, I've had a couple of those in my life. And it is the worst, one of the worst, inner experiences that one goes through when you stand in front of that moment and it is too late. And you reached an impasse, essentially. And now, within that, I immediately instead went into guilt and regret and punishing myself and things like that, burdening myself emotionally. But then I realized, look, I can either remain in the state. Will that moment be with me? It leaves a mark, interestingly enough. It does. And I also found that the things that happen in your life that leave a mark, will leave a mark, meaning it will leave an impact. It will define you in a way that nothing and no one else ever can. But yet, those moments of too late, the regret and the guilt and the emotional experience within it has been, sadly to say, the moments in my life that had the greatest impact on who I am, what I do, how I live, the decisions and choices that I make. Why do I say sadly so? It is sad and it is unfortunate that I had to learn in that consequential way, but I do at the same time realize there was no other way I could have in, let's say, the state or condition or self that I was at the time. So I really looked at, okay, I need to once and for all release myself from these regrets, these guilt. It's emotional within me. And then finally I got to the last point, which is where I realized, okay, look, the one thing where I've got to make peace with is the fact that this will remain as a part of me within myself. Yes, always. But I can take that, let's say, energy and channel it into how this had an impact on my self-definition and how is it going to transform myself, my living, my relationships with others in my future, in the present and in the future, from this moment onwards. Because in that, I honor, myself. I honor my relationship with that person, that moment that we had to go through. It is like, in a way, literally living a form of forgiveness. Forgiving yourself, forgiving the whole situation, forgiving them, and really moving on. So whenever my mind still, our minds tend to have quite an automatic tendency to want to bring up things over and over and over again. So that, even though I had made peace with all the regrets and really listed them very nicely for myself, and we look at, okay, how is this regret going to change me? This one, this one, this one, so that it can benefit my relationship with myself and others in the future. That even despite that, the regrets still try to come up inside of me. But then every time that does, it does leave a slight little, honestly, a little tinge in the heart for a moment. But then immediately breathe, grounding myself, remembering, all right, yes, that is still here, but this is how I'm moving forward. This is how I'm moving on. So I'm not anymore, shifting back into the regret and the emotion and the guilt and the burdening. So everyone, what you can take with you for this video is to have a look at what words, and again, emotional words, bad words, scary words, that exist within you that keeps on coming up inside yourself and creates that extensive emotional state that's affecting your body, that's affecting yourself. We sometimes don't really look at something this way. How I started looking at my body and myself is whatever my emotions are doing unto my body and the extent of consequences that it does create, maybe not now, but over time, I'm not doing it to my body. I'm doing it to my being, to me. And I just reached a point within myself in my life where I realized I don't want to do this to me, to my body, to my life anymore. So how can I change and transform this bad, this negative, and this painful that I'm doing unto myself and my body into something of nurturing, support, care, growth, and, in a way, like inadvertently, through supporting my body, I'm supporting me as well. And as I'm supporting me, I'm supporting my body, equal in one. To have a look at what emotions has got an impact on your body, on your being, on yourself, your soul, your spirit, all of you. And start sitting down with that word, with what is connected to the word, and ask yourself, how can I transform this into a gift, into something great that I can repeat in my life, where I do not burden myself with these words just in my own head and in my own body, but that I transform it into a living way where I can start sharing and assisting and supporting other people in my life, make an impact, leave a good mark on others in moments. It's also another interesting way of looking at it. We either leave marks within ourselves or we make a mark as an impact in someone else's life in a way that will see them through their life in time to come. All right, everyone. This is me, Sunette, for this video. Thank you very much for joining, and I do hope everyone sees with me, as I've seen for myself in my life, the extraordinary difference changing your relationship with words can make, not only to you, but others in your life as well. Thank you very much.